This is an open letter voiced, an open letter to His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto and to Opposition Chief Raila&Odinga. The two of you are men who respect, men who will be recorded by history as great contributors to the destiny of this country. But today, this country stands at a point nobody would want their country to stand, especially if they love that country in the manner many of us do. Today, perhaps more than any other time in the course of the history of this country, we stand to lose the place we have called home. Today, more than any other time in our history, we stand to destroy the dreams of our forefathers. Today, more than any other time in our history, we stand to give and offer great insult to those who sacrificed everything that this country may be born. Today, we stand at a point when those who died for this country must be turning in their graves. Fellow Kenyans, today could end up being the most shameful day in the history of this country, because today is a few hours, just hours, to what Raila calls death with destiny. We are moving so close to destroying the country that we love, or for many of you, we take for granted. And therefore, I address in the most humble way President William Samoei Ruto and Raila&Odinga to tell them and to share this with them, that you could destroy what may take years upon years to rebuild. As each one of you gets pushed by hardliners and those who stand to gain the most from your positions, history will record you very, very unfairly, very, very badly, cruel. History will be bitter with you that William Samoei Ruto and Raila&Odinga, that while it was within your powers to save your country, you allowed what I would want to call minor considerations, bravado, ego, to destroy a country that God has bestowed on Kenyans. Many people are asking what is likely to happen. What would it take to save the situation? Many are even rubbishing it. In this open address, I ask President William Samoei Ruto, please go to your pocket, get your phone and call your elder brother, Raila&Odinga. That one call from you, Your Excellency, may be all we need to save this country from destruction. That one call.
We at Nairobi Review appreciate the support you have given Harman Manyora's YouTube channel. Through your financial support, we've been able to reach millions of Kenyans and produce quality content every single day. It hasn't been easy, and therefore we appreciate you for subscribing, sharing, and watching us every single day. Whether you're a long-term fan or just discovering this YouTube channel, your financial support can make a huge difference. You can M-Pesa us via 0768 074 076 or use till number 964 4543. That is 0768 074 076 or M-Pesa till number 964 4543. We highly appreciate your support.
When I was growing up, there used to be a Christian hymn. Just go there and call number 9. President William Samoei Ruto, make that important call and save your country. I know there are people who are saying this thing will fizzle out, and I want to address myself to that. There are those who say, like Rigathi Gachagua, that you will deal with Raila Odinga. I want to give you credit that it is possible you could have the capacity to deal with Raila Odinga. And there are many ways of dealing with him. You could ignore him. You could arrest him and charge him. From your calculations, if you arrested Raila Odinga and took him to court, people will make noise and it will die. That is quite possible. Rigathi Gachagua and William Samoei Ruto, you could deal with this situation by unleashing the instruments of state, including the instruments of violence. The state has monopoly over violence, and the state legitimately, constitutionally, legally is allowed to use force in any country in the world. And therefore that could apply, and you could deter with minimal injury. You could isolate Raila Odinga, as indeed the efforts have been put in place, by getting all the leaders working with him to your side, Your Excellency. That is a possibility. And that could, in the manner of Rigathi Gachagua, deal firmly with Raila Odinga. And therefore, fellow countrymen, dear Kenyans, the President and Rigathi Gachagua have many options they could use to deal with this problem. When they say they will do it, they are not madmen. I give them the benefit, beyond doubt, that they could do it. But there is a small principle, Your Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto. The principle of what if? What if? Even when you have the best argument, when you see your opponent persisting in opposing your argument, what intelligent men do, they apply the what if principle. Just what if the guy was right? Just what if the guy actually is right? And therefore, Your Excellency, I have no doubt in my mind you have figured out how to deal with this problem. I do not doubt at all that you have the capacity to deal with this problem. But I want to whisper to you, Your Excellency, Just what if? Just what if you didn't succeed? Look at the consequences. On one side of the scale are the possibilities that you would succeed. On the other side of the scale, Your Excellency, are the consequences. Consequences of monumental proportion. Your Excellency, you need to succeed 100%. Your Excellency, a 90% success in dealing with Raila Odinga may spell doom for this country. That 10% failure can mean the destruction of this country. So, Your Excellency, whereas I have no doubt that you have the capacity and perhaps you have already put in place machinery to handle this monster, I only whisper to you, Your Excellency, think of the what-if principle. What if it didn't work, Your Excellency? What if it didn't work? Once again, Your Excellency, I beseech you, on behalf of the children of this country, on behalf of the grandchildren of this country and of generations to come, and on behalf of history, I beseech you, Your Excellency, make that call. That one call, Your Excellency. You could be right. And how I pray, how I wish you would be right, Your Excellency. But in the interest of those who died for this country, so that their death and suffering may not be in vain, Your Excellency, I almost beg you, if kneeling was not sacrilegious, I would have knelt down to beg you that in the interest of the children we have, in the same manner I beg Raila Odinga, in the interest of the children he has and the grandchildren, of the children born and yet to be born, of generations to come, of the people who look back 100 years and say, how did our parents and grandparents do this to us? On behalf of those who may find themselves refugees in other countries, I ask you, Raila Odinga and William-Ruto, to find it within your hearts to sit down and have a conversation about this country. Finally, Your Excellency, you have a greater responsibility than Raila Odinga, because where this thing has reached, there is very little Raila Odinga can do. As we urge him, we can only urge him to accept that invitation to sit down. Anything is very difficult for him. Raila Odinga is limited in what he can do because, Your Excellency, if Raila Odinga told his followers, he's calling out of this, the way I would dance around in joy and jubilation, but that will spell doom to this country. First, it will spell doom to Raila Odinga because he will end his political career very badly. A man we love, a man who has sacrificed so much for this country, shouldn't end his political career in misery. A miserable man. But more important and critically, Your Excellency, if Raila were to surrender this game, or even if you are to defeat Raila in this game, you'll have to preside over a country with millions upon millions of people, hurting from inside, angry, History records that the many wars that were fought were always from wars started by men and women, by communities, countries who had lived with bitterness for generations against certain enemies. And when the time came, they went for their pound of flesh. We cannot, Raila&Odinga, William Samoei Ruto, we cannot live in a country where people are boiling with hate right inside, but perhaps because of the defeat of Raila&Odinga, they have succumbed, but in cyst form. It is dangerous to live in a country, much more so to preside over a country, Your Excellency, swelling with bitterness, because a country like that requires only a spark and all hell breaks loose. I beg you, I beseech Raila&Odinga, if that call comes, act on it. On the part of the president, just remember that this country that is for your grandchildren is too good to go down. Make that one call. Let anybody call you a coward. Waswahili wanasema kwa mwoga huenda kicheko, kwa shujaa huenda kilio. In English, we always stand in the homestead of a coward to point at the ruins of what used to be the home of what you want to call a strong man. Let's not create those situations in this country. Kenya is too good to go down. This is not a situation that can be very easily managed. The risks, life is about risks. But this risk is too big to take, especially around the what if principle. What if all the measures put in place to contain this problem don't work? You cannot contemplate where we'll be driving this country that's too good to go down. And therefore, on behalf of many Kenyans, if not all Kenyans, I ask the two gentlemen to reconsider. And as they do so, to think about their children and the children of their children, and of the beckoning history, to give them accolades or to condemn them. I invite the President and Raila&Odinga to choose the path of life, the path that guarantees the children of this country a future. We've enjoyed a bit of what this country has to offer. We cannot afford to be so selfish as to go down with the country and leave our children with nothing to enjoy. That would be too selfish. Let's think about them. Let's talk. Because I have no doubt in my mind that the only way we can save the problem of this country, not just for Monday, but going forward, is for us to find space in our hearts for talking.